He went there. I remember that day, wayo funa leo mitileo, and they were speaking, but we were eavesdropping. And we went home, and little did I know that we are about to go into an experiment. So we go inside there, and part of me, I can recall that we're acting out of character. I went from being that Twasa to now being the Twasa that's called in private, the Twasa that, and she saw that and she was like, I have no power because if I speak, bazongishaya.
Thokoza Gogo, how are you doing?
Thokozani, I'm great.
I hope you're well. Okay. So, Gogo, I want to take you back to last week's episode when Gogo Nene was around. I feel like there were a lot of questions that were left unanswered and also a lot of things that I personally didn't understand. So maybe you can just please take us through them. Ebo? Okay. So there was a question that you asked Gogo Nene, and you were asking Ugusi, what is a Twasa's due diligence? So what should they do before allowing somebody ukuthi amthwasise? Because in my mind I'm thinking, if I need a doctor, I can just go into the doctor's rooms and just check their credentials on the wall, and then I would know, okay, this person is qualified to assist me with whatever illness that I'm going through. But now, if uyithwasane, what should they be doing or looking at or referring to in order to assist them to understand ukuthi lo muntu lo, are they qualified enough to assist them with the current spiritual illness that they are going through?
Okay, thank you for that. Last week's episode with Gogo Nena was very, very insightful, and I'm glad that we're actually touching on that. But just like to correct you, Itwasana is already somebody that's in an initiation process, and umuntu that is that has a calling that they need to answer to or to adhere to, whatever the case might be. First of all, you need to consult, at least get 1, 2, or 3 opinions confirming that the gift is there. But outside of just the gift being there, remember you're born gifted, Gogo. You know your whole life. You don't just wake up one blue Monday and, oh my gosh, you feel like something is happening to you, because your whole life generally translate to you being gifted. You're basically to build up towards your calling, because the old has to die for you to come back, blah, 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 dee. So you know that you're gifted. I don't need to tell you, but maybe as a healer, I need to now give you a framework or timeline that, Gogo, now it's time to enter a calling. Something is not right, or this and that, then you understand. Then when it comes to in terms of ukobela, where you are supposed to be led, that is something now that is being chosen by amadlozi wako or guided by your ancestors. Either you'll see it in a dream, or sometimes you get there and uzovuga idlozi. But somebody must not tell you that I am supposed to twasisa you. You cannot. I was begging that role. Umuntu fuze, as I believe in the old school method. It works better because when your ancestors have something to say about you, or there's a form of confirmation from your ancestors, it makes the journey a little bit easier, instead of you just ending up going to a person just because you felt or they looked like they could twasisa you.
Okay. Thank you, Gogo. So Gogo Nene also spoke about the abuse that happens emaphehlweni, and she spoke about the need for the whole space to be regulated. And she spoke about ukuthi the government needs to intervene and try and regulate the whole space. What intervention do you think ukuthi currently is required when it comes to Ubungoma by the government?
Shut down emaphehlweni. Yeah, first things first. And we cannot say ukuthi the government, we need a certain skilled professional or skilled person in the space that can actually work around this, because the foundation is not good. What is happening now is not good. It's not something that I would personally advise somebody, because look, I saw something a few days ago that was saying that the traditional healers organization, they passed a rule or bill or something that Mawufuna Ukuthwasa now your employees can allow that. To me, that's bull. First of all, they should be fighting to get amaphehlo regulated. And aren't they supposed to be regulating those things? Or is it another money-making scheme whereby you register to be under them and it's another short, long term, or how can I put it? It's another sort of a hierarchy of religion that is there that you have to be under somebody. There's no regulation of some sort. If we're still having people that are coming forward and they're saying that I was violated, ekuthwaseni, or abantu bayathwasisa, they're not even supposed to be there, people are being mistreated, then it means that these organizations are just gaslighting us. It's just another one of those that we are for you, but not for you. It's just a clique, a society, a secret society for just nonsense. Because, I don't think I'll ever want to be under anything because personally, I've never seen it work for somebody. Akekho umuntu said an organization of some sort has stood up for me and helped, or abogobela baningi, they're doing wrong things to people, but they're still practicing even till today. They're still trusting. Omunye avike ngokuthi I'm registered with X organization. You can't touch me, and all of these things. So come on. You passing bills to get people behind Bayotwasa, but you the same people are going there to be traumatized, to be abused, to be hurt. Let us start at the foundation. Can we take a year on regulating these spaces and really regulating these spaces? Abu Gobela exploiting, you find Ugutu Yotwasa, you don't have anything. They send you a huge list. They want Jägermeisters, they want Jäger bombs, they want all these things. Who's drinking those things? Who's eating all those food? You're going there, you're sick. So why is the exploitation? It really annoys me because there's a lot of these things that are happening. For example, I have this doctorate thing in it. You're supposed to call me Dr. Mpawadimu, mind you, ne? Yes, I'm a doctor. I said here, I'm a doctor. So I registered with these people. I hopefully wish one day, as a producer, you can get some of these people to come here because I have a lot of questions. We registered, you certified healer, and Nini, you have a doctorate. Dr. Rang.
When you say these people, you mean the governing body?
It's a body called Umhlabuhlangene. It's a school of African medicine. You see, when you see people, doctors, Banmani, most of these doctorates are acquired to them. So everybody's becoming a doctor now, but what are you doing with these doctorates? Are you fighting to get us into the medical space? Are you creating a space for us? Or is it just another money-making scheme? Like, I paid my money, still waiting for my certificate, and I don't even think I want it because I feel, what is it gonna contribute to my healing work if I'm very much existing without it? And I think until we have a body that stands for healers and doesn't exploit healers because of the fragility of all of this thing, then I think we can start somewhere. But while we're still having all these things, and I can speak for you, and I can do all these things, we are not even fully represented in the whatever space, in schools, come on, we need to start from zero. But personally, Mina, I feel like amaphehlo mawavalo kancane. People are really going through a lot, and there's a lot of mental health issues, and people are being taken advantage of because lack of knowledge.
So in the previous episode, you referred to iphehlo or amaphehlo as horror houses, and you also referred to it as people going in there experiencing abuse, experiencing sexual abuse, also experiencing alcohol abuse. Do you have a personal experience?
It's funny that you say that. I have a personal experience, Gogo, and I think that's why I'm such. I get very touched when I hear such things. My initiation journey was not the nicest. it was very unkind. Remember, when you leave home, you're going home to go get help, to seek refuge, whatever the case might be. But when you get to a space whereby now you're being treated like you're an animal, just because fuze idlozi liphakame or whatever the case might be, it is a trauma that lives with you for the rest of your life. And even Ugobela would boldly say that, listen, mina ngangifahlamela nenkukhu, meaning la wayethwasa khona, there was some entity that was in a chicken or something, and magugida chicken was also there, and you start to understand that there's not healing that is being done to healers. There's not rehabilitation, how I look at it, because hurt healers hurt other healers. You know what I mean? So my Govela really tainted my journey a lot. I was angry with myself. I was angry with my ancestors. And it was hard to talk about a lot of things because we are being told that there's certain things you can't talk about because izinto zasephehlweni. There was one day that particularly stands out for me that I can recollect, where, because he used to always go with us, Sihambe, Siofuni Muti, and there was this one other supplier of his, Omunyu Mama. Till after Ukuthwasa, I went ngayofuna lo mama because I was angry. I wanted to fight because I felt, how can you allow these things, He went there. I remember that day, wayofuna leo mitileo, and they were speaking, but we were eavesdropping. And we went home, and little did I know that we are about to go into an experiment. We were told that don't eat that day. And we didn't eat because, listen, everything that is you being told, you do it, whether you want it or you don't. You don't have rights. So he took us into Indumbinyake, and he started giving us imiti payana, and there was stuff he put in our saibema kunamed as telai. Imagine liquid going into your nose and you in this position. It's a very painful thing. And kunezinto kuyashisa kwenzakalani, and sasuyitere sithwasa laphayana. I remember that. And after that, we were all woozy, pindi. Like, it was like something just happened to you. And then we were taken into Lasa Slala Kona. Masingena, the room has been changed. Everything, guvaliwe, it's black. The windows are covered. Everything is just covered. And you're yourself saying, what is happening? But you can't react because whatever's been put inside of you is. And so we go inside there, and part of me, I can recall that we're acting out of character. We're taking off our clothes, barking, screaming like you just want to get out. And that time, we all fighting, and I was the youngest initiate, and the other ones are. So I don't know what that was supposed to do to us, Pindi. But that went on for a while. But I remember hearing them laughing outside, and because Sasmemeza, man, it was not nice. It's dark. You can't see what's happening, and and a while went by, and I saw the door open because the light came in, and he came in. We were all sleeping there. I was bleeding. I remember that because guys. And he came in. I don't know what happened. We're given something else to drink. I don't recall much what happened that day, but I know something happened that day. Like, I don't talk about that because kuba ngathi uyahlanya. And when I spoke up about this, it was like we're being dramatic, For that day, we're all asking ourselves what happened, but nobody had an answer. But it's such things saying, is that part of healing? What part healed me? To later on find out that particular event or whatever happened that day, sasifakwe ilwane, because everywhere on my face. And they also because you told you can't speak about these things. I can't even call my mom because your phones gets taken away. If you are speaking on the phone, you're supposed to sit here and he's supposed to listen to your conversation. So everything that you're saying is supposed to be nice. You can't say basically all like 80% of the time, but when our families come to visit us, they give us clean clothes. They say you must go get our clean clothes to wear. And unfortunate for me, I didn't know that I walked straight into the mouth of a lion or whatever, because Gobelas so wife material in me. And the little things would just progress. He didn't want anybody to bring him food but me. He didn't anybody to go together but me. And when I would go there, you'd find him. He's naked, sitting on the bed, asking me, don't you miss sleeping on the bed and all these things? And things happened, Pindi, that it took me a while to just forget.
Sounds like there is a lot that happens that is unconsented.
A lot, Pindi. A lot. I mean, in Pumekaya, I don't know 80% of the things that are happening. You leave home and you know that this is not when this is supposed to happen. When somebody does this to you, you're supposed to talk up. But because Abu Gobelas mastered the art of brainwashing you, in you to feeling like you can't talk about this. If you talk, if you leave and run away, you're gonna go mad. You stay in that abuse. I mean, we've been treated like animals, Pindi, apparently like dogs. There's just a lot. I don't know. So when I would speak about this, even with my, abantu ing tasenabo, or, I was told maybe I'm exaggerating. I'm being dramatic, but it hurt me for a long time. Literally for 4 years. I never entered Ndumbeniam. I was angry that, So good enough that the older Ukuthwasa, I can't say she's the older, but she's the oldest. She would see these things that was happening, and she would be like, when he calls you into his space, I'll come in and barge in and act like I'm coming there to ask a question or I dreamt of something, because she knew that these things are happening because she was there the longest.
When you're saying ukuthi uGobela wako saw wife material in you, what do you mean?
I mean exactly that. Can I have a break, please?
Okay. Gobelas seeing wife material in you, and then the other initiates seeing that. How did you receive support from her?
By her helping and making our interactions be very limited, interrupting the interactions, because I went from being that Twasa to now being the Twasa that's called in private, the Twasa that, and she saw that and she was like, I have no power because if I speak, bazongshaya, and I don't want, So because sasishayiwa and all, so she would just barge in, Thokoza baba, or sometimes that's vusidlozi. If she knew that Unkomo went into his room and it has been a while, she'd come out, and yeah, man, it was a sad time. Because to be quite honest, I was not meant to be at that space, but I ended up being at that space because remember I told you I have two Gobelas. My Gobela was, caught up in whatever her life, and she sent me to that guy. So I always ask myself that if that part, if she never sent me to that guy, maybe my story would have been different. But also, I'm grateful that my story is like that because I learned a lot that happens. There would be things I would ask about that, is this really true? For example, there was a point even la pepeshin, I I doubted that even such exists because of what was going on. Literally, we are
What do you
being
mean such?
in terms of being called is what are you being trained for kahle kahle, if all of these things are going to happen. When uhambo uyogida, you have to smoke something first, take a sip of something. Remember, I'm there for healing. It's supposed to be a safe space. When ngigida, tell me, your skirt is too short today. I could see you right under your skirt. When nisemgidini, you can talk to all my trousers. Mara lona wakhuluma naye, lona wami lona. Those condescending things, those tones, to a point where I told my family to stop coming to visit me. Ngithwase with my family, the good part not coming to visit me, because he would say, Nkomo ungayenzani ngelinye ilanga umama kho abavuke bathi baphuphe mina nawe mele sishade. I knew he could manipulate that because he was Gobelas, but he practiced a lot of dark magic. And he was like, Masocedile ukuthasa wena uzophelela lawe. Uzobuya lawe. So whatever.
I understand the trauma now because, the experiences that you're describing, they sound dehumanizing.
Yeah, they are.
Drinking stuff. You refer.
I mean, there's this thing that they call iskenama, and it's mainly used emaphehlweni if for punishment. But umuthi, you can use it for either yabo ugeza umuntu ukusebenza, whatever you want to use it for. That thing itches like hell, Pindi. Literally, makavuke into zakhe, the winter ngangithwasa ngayo, it was a winter from hell. If aslap yayiqina ukuthi uyageza ngaphandle. Bothi ngo-4 ekuseni or ngo-3 avuke. Thola ukuthi maybe nge-mistake, we're just a minute late or something. Mele sogeza ngeskenama. Tell you amabhavu laphayana. Phinde akutshela ukuthi khohla lelo golo lelo. And you will bath there. Remember, uyathuka every day of your life. Uyisikhebereshe, uyilonke lento lena mosekuthwaseni. Phinde we would bath ngalento leyo. I remember this one day, salunywa ngaze ngakhala. I was tired. I was like, I can't. Ngayozifihla ngesponge because sasilale epontini. Isponge sami ngangisimisile. It's in the AMs, Phindi. I was crying and he came angibheka. Uyakhala. Sangoma's gone. Meluqine. And I just cried because now this thing is itching uncontrollably. There's nothing you can do. You just have to wait it out. Remember, ukwazi ukugeza kayi-2. So ugezile uyithwasa, it's the end. It's either that or hambo emvuleni. So pick a struggle, bitch. So it was, and but he was younger than them. But the vulgar languages, the communication of making you feel like you are nothing, because it's very dehumanizing, Pindi. And lezo zinto lezo don't leave your mind. You feel sorry mawubona umuntu afaki ibovu la ikhanda ne red skirt, because you're just being put into another traumatic experience, and that's not what our ancestors really wanted from the start. But it is when these people started coming. I don't know. I feel like Ukuthwasa Pindi is supposed to heal you in a way, align you, teach you things. Because remember, mawuthwasa kunephehlelo lokuqala and iphehlelo lesithu. Iphehlelo lesithu ile ledlozi, because you're going ephehlweni to be equipped to tap into the dimensions, to connect better, to connect nedlozi lakho, to know your work. But now, if Phehlo 1 inflicts so much trauma and abuse on you, what happens in Phehlo 2? There's a lot of breakdown. And people hide behind izangoma ziyaphuza. No, we're just going through the most. We have things we have never spoken about that are haunting us. Abanye, people go through the worst, Pindi. People go through the worst. I don't want to lie to you. People go through the worst, especially if you go utokobelo izinto uthanda imigidi. There migidini, there's just a lot of sick things. There's just a lot of things that are happening in the name of I don't know what. So that's why ngayenza decision mangiceda ukuthwasa ngathi my gift will not be my social card. I will be a sangoma, but I will not be with izangoma because I can't. I'm tapping out. So yes, I'm grateful for my gift, but also in hindsight, I walked that journey so I could become who I am today because I don't believe there would be an advocate of Iluzi if none of that nonsense happened.
Why does Gobela hold so much power? Why are there no interventions? And do you guys fear Ukobela Ukuthwasa so that you are unable to speak out?
Yeah, the fear is instilled from you from day one. Mongena, you're being told. When I talk to you, you don't look at me in the eye. Everything, Thokoza Baba. Thokoza, you've never disagreed with anything that I'm saying. And when I speak to you, you should always look down. You know, it starts there. And you get used to that behavior that, oh my gosh. And you don't even live like that in your normal day life. I mean, but those are the questions, the whys I had. Why do we do this? Why? What does this have anything to do with my gift? Can't you teach me respect and discipline without wanting to be? I think it's a power trip, Mina. I think abantu they are just hiding behind those titles because bafuna ukuthandazwa. They want to be gods within their gifts. They want to be gods of their gods. And now once umuntu ethola that opportunity yokuba ugobela, hey ngizokubonisa mina. Hey, I'll show you. And you know, I mean, Pindi, futhi manje kungcono, I lighten my skin because of that particularly. You would not look at my legs. We were walking with our knees, and these parts of me, my ankles, they were torn. And after that, it was just dark, unsightly patches. So I was like, these scars, as a I just don't want to think about them. But it was also a sort of trauma, a reminder. You understand? I didn't want to live with. We would say, this is what happened to you. Whatever. But you
referred on the previous episode, you said in the horror houses, which is Ukuthwasa, you said in some of the rooms, you would see things moving.
Yeah.
What sort of things are you seeing?
For a lack of a better word, ngizothi abatikoloshi. Because mina lo muntu wayengithwasisa vele wayenezinto ayisebenzisayo ezingekho clean. Lezinto ugogo bekakhuluma ngazo zazikhona. Wawuthi noma ulapha endumbeni uthi uyaklina. Uthonta elinye iphondo la inhloko yakho liyathonta liyathonta lephondo. Yabona leli iphondo lamathwasa. Nawe masokhulile edlozini ngizokwenzela. And I would look at it like, nigga, I ain't wanting that shit in my duba. But into esifana njengalezo and indumbi yakhona yahlezi imnyama athi makafaka iglobe every time liyabhasta. You know, so bekwakuThusa so ingenza sure ukuthi when the other gogos are on their periods, I lie and also say I'm on my period because that would mean nobody's going endumbeni. Even when I knew that I'm on my period, I would go with them because I was scared ukuvula ngiyi-1. Like 3 a.m. Izinto when now you're opening this sketchy Ndumba Chronicles and you're going inside there and it's scary as fuck. Remember kumnyama Pint. But now who are these shadows? What are these shadows? I've been at this since 2016 and I don't remember ngene ndumina ngitholi global pastilla or ngitholi izinto ezinyakazayo izifani. So those are the things. I mean, sasiphila neschool but balance ngesandla. So that's how as izinto mina I don't want to lie. It changed my outlook. I told myself that I want to be the different Sangoma. If anything, I want to be what my ancestors want me to be. And I will not adopt my Gobela's ways because it's what Wayeye and Zaina. No, it doesn't speak to me. It doesn't.
How safe is it?
No, it's not safe. It's not safe. There has been people abashona emaphehlweni. There are people abakhipha izisa emaphehlweni. There are people, it's not safe. That's why I made a video last time saying that as a parent, if uyothwasa, have consent umntwana wakho makayothwasa. Ungavumi umuntu to bully you, athathe umntwana wakho uzomthwasa, because maybe a pedophile is taking in your child. It's just a lot. That's why I feel like this Gobela thing, it should be a calling pindi. It can't be every Tom, Dick, and Harry or Twasisayo. The weirdos out here. People that were mistaken, people that were taught to be Zangom who don't even have a calling. But because they can, they have power. You know, Banez Gopu, Ezbiza Matwasa. They have things to feed. They now, you know, it's a sex spree. Umtanako goes there, angaphuza angabhemi, uphuma lapha lingi para. It's what's happening now. Oh, ziyabala. That's why I need to ziyabala. I worry when I see a group of people, 10 twasas, 20 twasas. How utwasa kanjani lapho? Because ukuthwasa is a sensitive thing, Pin. I need to have time for you. Ngizwe lakho ukuthi lithini. So now if ngizothwasisa ngokuthi hayi la impandeni senza kanje, awumelanga wenze so, there's no attention to a person's gift and calling. Sithwasa into eyi-one sonke, sidla into eyi-one sonke, sifundisa ukuthi thamba malibhekelena liyatweka, and then siyaphuma, siyahamba siyokhohlisa abantu, utshela umuntu, hey wena ngizwe magijima ukwenza kodwa. That's not Ubungoma. That's not. That is not Ubungoma. So it's not safe, Pindi. I feel like these boards or these bodies that are coming up, they are for healers. These are the things that they should be regulating. These are the things. Umuntu makayethwaseni, every month there should be a report, or 3 weeks, or something, or a hotline to call if Gobelas is abusing me. You know, something, somewhere with lasizokhalela khona, because umthetho weshoba is not abuse. It's not.
If your safety is compromised, there's a police station. Why?
Our justice system. For us, Tina, we are the aliens of the planet. If I can go today ngithi uphindi utshontshe iphondo lami endumbeni, ngizovela lapha kwi-Reds Hotel. But mangathi, yabona, Tina phela, the only thing that police really post about Izangoma is that we work with human parts, and that's not even healers. That's a different type of space. That's not even light working. But I mean, there are shows that have been done. I've never seen anybody say that Gobela uboshiwe and is in prison, because you have nothing to prove at that time. Because uzokubamba ngokuthi webo wakhulumi. Ukhuluma kanjani? Uyinje tell a month. 10 years later, it haunts you. You go back, when you did this to me. Ibe proof. Bayakumela phela amathwasa wakhe naba ngisho they hypnotize. Ayeke ubaba yenze lento leyo. So you look like you're the crazy one. So I just feel ukuthi, it happened to us so that history doesn't repeat itself. So learn from our stories that these things happen. They are there. And you're supposed to be taken there to be groomed to be a healer. But uphuma lapha, so uphinde into. I don't want to lie. Go toxic nje. When the structures are pillars wokulapha umuntu ngengulo, this was not what they had in mind. So right now, the time that we are in, I feel it's a perfect time. Things fall apart before they can come together. And now that things are slowly generating and coming to the light, I'm here for it. It means people can stop. How are you taking your child to Gobela you've seen on what channel? How are you taking your Gobela to a person you've seen go complain ngaye ukuthi in any, you know, abanye, some people are misdiagnosed. Some people, because you being hypnotized, when amelu twase, you end up, it's not even the case, but because it's what it's become, it's scary, man, Pindi. It's scary. I mean, after my experience, I was so angry that I vowed that I don't think Sangoma lies. There will be another one, but I think I will regulate it from the spirit.
But coming into a space where you are, you know, submitting yourself and desperate for being healed, and then you get hypnotized and drugged, as you're describing it, when you're done with it or when you're still in it, how do you think it heals you, or has it healed you? What was your experience like? Is there any healing in it?
There is healing. 10%. Actually, I don't know how to put it. I think I took my journey and turned a lemon into a lemonade because I'm a persistent person, mina. When mangikala ngiyayiceda, ngiyazibasela, ngiyazicishela. And I was like, I'm not gonna go home and uncompleted. There's a lot riding on this. And I found I think my healing came after iphehlo, not emaphehlweni. When I started now interact ngizothini mangiqala ijeni yami nedlozi lami. That's when I understood, the conversations, because kukhona umuntu ekhaya wathwasa. Unfortunately, yabona lento ukuthi emafemelini iyikhwama ziyalwelwa, waforced ugogo loyo ukuthi athwase washona. Kube kuthiwa ukuthi umuntu ozothwasa lo muntu lo ulo, but because efamilini babasigijimise kakhulu isikhwama le, washona ugogo, washonela emaphehlweni. And to only find out ukuthi there was not even a gift. She was HIV positive. And because when she was starting her treatment and stuff, there was a lot of hallucinations and stuff. Wazithola sephehlweni bekangaphuzi treatment. Washona phindi. Lo muntu no ungatshe ne-red skirt nekhanda elibovu. When I started my shadow work in healing, sengicala iphehlo lami nedlozi, I had so many, because ngangimbone ephehlweni but singana interaction. But now masengiphumile, things started being unfolded. This is what happened to me. And also with ugogo, a lot of things, it made sense. I go back to the statement of we walk in our ancestors for a reason, ancestors' footprints for a reason, and we rewrite the future because we have to walk again another mile in the past, so we understand better when we move forward with this thing. So I found my healing when I started finding, who is she? Yes, uthwasile. Now what? I trusted without accepting me. I was in denial throughout my whole initiation process. Even came back, I was still in denial. I came back with like, I'm still that girl. Let's go out, let's party. My boyfriend at the time, yo, Chester, where are you? Let's hit the road. I had no time. And I was angry. I even told them when I came, like, yo, guys, should anything of this nature, y'all gonna pack your bags and go there. I mean, I did my time. I ain't going there again. This thing is not for the faint-hearted. I never look back. Locked my ndumba. That's Mom, I did my part. Now we can start a new life. I didn't know that my journey was just about to begin. And it began and it unfolded beautifully. And most of the things that I learned, apart from izinto zobungoma, but about my gift, about my journey, were directly from Idlozi lami. There are things that I speak about, and me years ago, I didn't even know about that. So I look back, I'm like, there is healing, but I would be like, why did you make me go through that? And she, there's answers, because naye indlela yakhe naye nama potholes. So ungathi uhamba indleleni ama potholes bese nawe ufuna ukuyenza ama potholes endleleni zabanye. Be a better healer. That's why even with people that I look after spiritually, because I don't want to be called a gobelo or anything of that sort. That term for me, it just screams something else. I tell them that it's important to listen to idlozi lakho and be guided by your ancestors. And if there is no connection between your mentor or whoever it is and idlozi lakho, that's not what should be happening. You understand that? It makes the journey more simpler. There's more attention, there's more time. But ngahlala mina phinde ngingafuni ukuba nabantu engibancedayo spiritually, especially abahlusha izinto zedlozi, because I was like, I'm a broken healer. How am I going to heal other people, especially abahlushwa amadlozi? Ngizoba lapha kanjani ngigoka kanje? Ngisakwatela ugobela wami ka 1929. Lona ngizomenzani? Cause ngangibona ukuthi le enga le yayikimi. Ngangizoyi-inflicta kuwe. Ngimthuke. Vuka wena. Ya wena. Uzazolala la. Kusukusekini la. Wena ngifuna idlozi. Keep idlozi. Those things are just there's some fear, man. There's still some songs when I hear I get triggered. There's still some things when I see I get triggered, because it doesn't leave you, especially when kusondela malanga. Like right now, kusondela lamalanga lawo ngangena ngayo emaphehlweni ngangena I think April 21st or 23rd. Yeah, so when those days come, I cannot not go back to that girl, that little girl wangena lapha egula. I cannot not go back to that, the things we survived. I cannot not go back. Sasihamba semfuleni uthusayo phini kuthiwa lapha amathwasa wabuyi. But sasiya sithume testing us. But because idlozi likhona, umdala ukhona, we'd come back. Asibuyisele futhi. We'd see things I can't even talk about here on camera. And kwakunzima. Kuthi ithasa libuyi laphana, but sasibuya sikwenze konke lokho. So in a nutshell, yes, wangikhulisa, wangiqinisa, but wangihlukumeza.
Okay, so
Yeah.
if ugobela wakho was initiating you, I would assume ukuthi they are now have to become your mentor, and in your journey as a healer, you would refer to him mhlambe if ikufika into endumbeni yakho exakayo. How do you then go back to a mentor who treated you in that way, and is there even a relationship?
You don't go back. There is no relationship. Because ibhlungu maniphindi ukuthi mawuthi yakhuluma kube ngathi unehaba or you over exaggerating. I experienced all of this. You understand that? Even I remember I told you because I'm Gobela Mai too. Even Ukubela, I would tell her these are things, but it was taken lightly. You understand? That's how ngisho ngithi ezinye izinto are just swept under the carpet because we gotta keep it moving. But it happens. And instead of umuntu amamele, naye ufuna ukucompete na ukuthi nami kwakunzima. Nami ngangigowa. Not understanding ukuthi it's a cry for help. Ngangigowa literally. And ngangithemba ukuthi nizongitshela something, you're gonna alert me ukuthi hey, look out for these signs. If he does this to you, scream. If it does this to you, talk. If it does this to you, do something. But uyabona man ukuthi it's just one thing after the other. Iqiniso phindi lincane amanga amaningi. Iqiniso lincane, and abantu they'd rather stick to amanga because iqiniso is very uncomfortable. Abantu abafuna ihlala neqiniso, but si failed kakhulu man. Imagine if these spaces were being regulated, you'd ask, okay man, bathumela laphana bagcoka ngegcatfuli bagibela intaba baya kuloya mfula loya no dangerous ngale ikhathi lezi, they could be raped on the way. She could fall there. Akahayiki phela lo muntu. You understand? Anything could happen, realistically speaking. So you're putting something in my nose water. We know ukuthi kunzima ukufaka into enamanzi emakhaleni. You're one of those little things that are regulated, but because now people hide behind impande yam and ayikungitshele next, so you can't say anything about it. Into zasempande nakhulunywa ngazo. So I'd rather not mpande. I'd rather be independent. Yeah, and just move solo as a doctor.
Why do you think they say you don't talk about what happened at Bethlehem?
I think that started when the initial statement was to protect the sacredness of things that were happening there. But that statement slowly started creeping into the cracks to people who are doing wrong to other people. And now you're being told, you don't talk about what happens here. And literally, you don't. But if you start talking, because I remember also when I started talking, I was attacked a lot. And now and I still see he's still practicing. He's still tossing people.
So you can also hide a lot of illegalities.
And that what happens in Rome stays in Rome. But also on what extent when abantu bayalimala. Kuyalinyala phindi la ngaphandle. Mangelapha ngiyagula, ngiyalapha ngiyagula, impilo yami ihlangahlangene. I'm expecting to find some form of comfort, a safe space. Yazini, ngike ngithi noma ngixakekile, kungabi nzima ukuthi ngicabange la ngathwasa khona. So now if ngijahela ukuthi mangiceda ukuliphuza ngiliphalaza, ngiyahamba. That statement is hectic. Kwaba khona ugogo la ngithwasa khona waphuma wahamba. Hey, lewo busuku lo azange salala ngoba lapha ngisho la ngithasa khona ngakusonta kuphinde kube yini. So, hey, Sathanda ubusuku bonke sasaqina imilomo. Kwalayita amakhandlela. Wathi yabona njengoba sekaphume kahle. I wonder Ublo Gogo because I've never seen or heard from her, but
She ran away.
yeah, she took her things like ngathi emsebenzini and she never looked back because washo ukuthi bathi into esenza lana yikho. And also remember there's also ukuntshontshelana kwamathwasa happening amongst uGobela. I might say mhlawumbe uyathwasa wena lapho. Ngithi ayiphinda uGobela akakwenzisa izona because ngifuna uzela kimi. So those things happen. Kuyatshontselwana yabo. So alikho iqiniso. Like that's why ngithi sefa umuntu. Msefe umuntu. Msefe ngenkulumo, msefe nangokwenza, and then you'll see. Yabona mina laba bama dust code namachapha ngiyabasaba. That was my Gobela. Lo fake chapha ni dust code. Ngiyabasaba. Ngiyabasaba because I've seen the worst of it. I've seen the worst. Sunday sasonta, but Monday to Saturday zaikhala zazgu loudspeaker. So to undo all of these things ezikhona igroup lezi we need to kuqhakazeke nje kuhlakazeke then kuzoqala manje kuhleleke izinto sibone ukuthi abantu bayalapheka ngempela abantu bayaphi abadinga ukuphola because lonke izinto ezenzakalayo I don't want to lie to you. I don't even want these weirdo looking things in my ndumba. My ndumba is clean. It's a bougie ndumba like me. I don't want weird things mina. Ngangithwasela endaweni eninto ezithusayo. So why am I going to put scary things in some? If my Losi's never showed me that. Angifuni kwa school party. Oh, but school party senhlanhla. Mina ngiyasathi school party ukuthi sasenzani makushintsha ama hours. So I don't want that. Amagundane la ukuthi gundana. Hey, Pint. Hey, I've seen it. I've seen it. You're right. That's why I'm going to start a different story. And that's why you're seeing what you're seeing, this hot, sizzling product in front of you. Amen.
When you describe yourself, Maungena emaphehlweni, you say, Uti, the sick little girl that went into emaphehlweni. Did the sick little girl come out healed?
No, she came out hurt. Yeah, she came out hurt. The healing was independent. There's literally, I mean, kuningi man pindi. But that girl, she was too naive to even conceptualize what was happening. And also, you know, Gobela would keep on saying, Lona umlungu, mfuna kumkhipha isilungu, ala ngifuna ithwasa elikhuluma isilungu la. I mean, for example, let me get in a short story. Before Nyothwasa, he was being told ukuthi mele aze ekhaya azobethela. Apparently ekhaya there's some wild animal on the loose. Jan, and he came. Wazobethela. And magobethela ke kuphuma amabhodlela, these small bottles, yabo. Amabhodlela lawa ayaphuma, uyawavula, uhamba ngeimbambo lapha ekhaya. Yabo. Hey, nathi siyasho ukuthi hey Gobela turuturu. Hey Gobela uzobethela in uqasha qima kavula kavaleka. Amabhodlela lawo hawo. Nase ngithwasa. Udlula isikhathi ke. Because kwakuthi umela bethele then kind of mhlawumbe ngizohamba yabo. It was istory samside man. If people don't know my story, please subscribe to my YouTube channel, go back to my old videos, the story is there. Mase ngithwasa ephehlweni ngilanga usifihlele ke. Langa lemfihlo ke. Hey, athi, yanena kheberesha ngifihlile. Ziyakhala ke manje. Yeah, mina manje uvusene idlozi. Idlozi lesikhathi lise Thailand, lise Turkey, lenze BBL. Uthi bathe idlozi ula lithi 360 lapho. Ngibusy sisters. Busy lapha. Uyayifuna lemfihlo. Masiloko siguduza lana.
What does that mean? Ufihlile.
Basically, it's if imfihlo is supposed to be a gentle training in opening your third eye.
Oh,
so you can be able to psychic see things that aren't visible with the physical eye. You understand? So that when I'm consulting you, it's training your third eye. That's the light how to put it. But because I can shoot in amataba mnyama, ayikho leyo. Uzofihlela nebhodlela lesniff. Ufihlile ke ubaba. Siguduze. Mina vele bese ngidelela vele bese because bese hlukunyezwe kakhulu ngangisengasenandaba. Yena namagolo. Yayifuna lemfihlo siyagijima lapha nathi masihlangane ngalemva komkhukhu eyilona. Manje mangibheka ngalemva komkhukhu. Lamabhodlela lawo ahleli kwesinye isitsha so lamabhodlela afana lawo aphuma ekhaya. Ayi. Ngithi hayi man what the ngilithathe ngifake la emabeleni please. Sagijima. Hayi mase siqeda indaba zeyimfihla nani. Ngihlale nalo obuyinhlosi naye. Ngithi awungitshele la. Lamabhodlela lawa lesikhathi nize ekhaya ugubha lapho uhamba njengomamlambo uloku umamjiji uphethe ipiki nafaka amabhodlela anje amabhodlela lawo wani lawa athi umntana ekhehla mina hey bengazi ngizoyikhuluma kanjani ngisho umntana ekhehla bathi ezinye izinto asikhulunywa so nithatha imali kamama for nothing for amabhodlela nini nize nawo nawafaka because wayegubha phinde kusebusuku asibona vele athi akhiphe lela bhodlela likhiphayo. And so coming back now, mase ngixoxa nogogo lo kangithasa naye, she confirms these things. And I think that day, ngaba very angry.
Okay.
I was like, kanti lo busangoma yini? Yini kahle lena engizoyenza la. I live my life, I could be completing my degree. I'm stuck in this, Lord knows what it is. I mean, what is happening here? And he would always say, "Ngoma mele ngabe yokufundisa ukubethela." And every time we were supposed to go do that, something would just happen. I'm grateful I didn't because I did not want to learn his toxic ways. You know.
Uyayifaka into enze ngathi uyikhiphile.
Yeah, ngiyayifaka ngiyikhipha.
Okay.
Ngithatha imali yakho. So ngabuya nobuye Friday agcweleke lawo mabhodlela. So wangitshela ugela ukuthi hayi lamabhodlela days before sizobethela we take them, put them in something, sfake whatever scary things inside, and then we lock the bottles. They stay in the sun so that they can look old and done. Dum. So yeah, I mean that was that. So I was disappointed. I feel like I was okay. That was a red flag, but we walked past, we didn't know better. Saqajwa ke lulu la ngekhaya. Oh, my mom safaka abo 11. Saqajwa ka 100 mina. You know, looking back, I'm like, you know, the signs were there, but we walked right past them. Maybe kwakuyindlela yami. So abelaphi. That's why ngithi umuntu okutshela ukuthi ukwazi ukwenza yonke into. Amsabe loyo muntu loyo. Nakumakhona tsohle. Amabogobela lalela umoya man. Umama I remember there was a hunch. You know that ish was, yeah, I still say, what if I listen to that ish? But that ish wouldn't be here. But yena, angisoli, idlozi mhlampe wayenalo because yena entweni zobungoma uyazi his versed lezine uzokufundisa what not. But ezinye ke uthanda kakhulu into ezingcolile ezingekho clean. So into eziclean azizwani. So I'm grateful ukuthi idlozi lami fought ukuthi ngiphume kuleyo nto leyo and ngaphuma phehlo, another phehlo, finished ngayikhaya. Mase ngekhaya ke ngangisengithi whatever happens. But it's the same angisho umzala akukho la kungana fakeism khona. Kukhona scammerism akukho nasemasontweni kukhona but just ukuthi la kithi kune fear einstilwayo so that you look past the scam. You understand? So I hope this episode will teach people a lot. Think twice, listen to your guides. It really, and bukhona ubungoma kini na before you go, uyozithola usesithwaleni or something, because also I had to do a lot of work in Phehlo 2 to undo izinto that were done in Phehlo 1 because I was under whatever shrine that was. You understand? So it took a while. I mean, this person haunted me for a good week in my dreams. I was having hallucination just to break that spiritual thing that was happening. So, yeah, I mean, it's a lot that happens. It's a lot. But let's hope that there's going to be light and healing. People are going to come forth with their stories, open up that mbobo. Kungathi umuntu makakhuluma isitory sakhe kube ngathi vele. There's a thin line between ukuthwasiswa and abuse. Very, very thin line. And people often cross that very easily. So think twice again and don't invalidate someone's story. It's their story. It's not yours. It's their truth, what they experienced. And kunabantu bonayo ukuthi yazini lana, no, something does not make sense. So I look back, I'm not regretful. It's just that I haven't spoken about this in forever. And thank you for actually bringing it up. I'm judging you, but I've personally forgiven and let it go. Right to mina. Ngayitshela ngathi kuzohlangana naye makuhlangana naye. But mina, I don't want to live in that past. I'm a different person now. Ngimbonile last week with TikTok, and he sent me a DM. Did not my heart skip? Because I was like, why? I was sorry. It means, life goes on, So
It means it's okay for him.
it's okay, yeah.
treat people
Mhlampe
that way.
he's hoping to come back, lower his way, and try. And so I'm like, boundaries, I was like, you know what? I'll leave you here. Watch, because I know you're watching from a distance. So watch from a distance. Thank you for everything that you did, because look at what we are today. So yes, been at this since 2016. Not as old as Gogo Nene, but I'll get there one day. But if there's anything, I'm grateful for my journey, my gift, and yeah, I'll die a Sangoma, man. Yeah, I'll die a Sangoma. It's in my blood. It's who I am. I can't see myself being anything else, because I was seeing the debate between religion. I was in religion, and then there was no safe space for me. Ngangihamba amasonto la bathi abafundisi baprofeta nangempumulo bami ngempumulo, ngangihlala phambili ngizitsho ukuthi uzongiprofita libaba la angitshele ukuthi kahle kahle yini le demon elingilandelayo. Bangangiprofiti nje, ngiyitshele ngithi, oh my lord, makucala lezi zinto lezi zokuthi abantu it's now time to cast the spirit, ngibe phambili ngiphuza anointing water, ama-oil sawahabula kuphela ngashona ngakhona. Kodwa ngathi mangikhatha nje konke, ngibhekana nami nje isiqu sami, ngathola iphisi yami. So what works for Jane will not work for Anna. And let's not speak down on what worked for Anna, because you don't understand Anna's journey. So ngiyephi la ngikhona. I will always tell my story to heal somebody. I believe the more we talk about our experiences, we heal people better. And yeah, man, what is a trend is scary. It's scary. That's why ngithi abantu manje bathwasa kamnandi, thina sasishaywa phindi. You wouldn't even stand in a mall or a parking lot. You wouldn't even awuthola impama ungazi ukuthi buyaphi. You're supposed to always kneel. When Gobelas is standing, mhlampe nisemall ehlangane nesinye isangoma, mabame kunjani mele uguqe lapha. So ngathi kundaneli alpirim. Mele uguqe, mele kuningi abantu manje bathatha amafoni bahlale KFC. Thina sesingazenzi zonke lezi zinto. Thina sesigoyile phinde. Sigoyile. I think mhlampe i-generation nami le ngathatha ngayo yayisephethe lewakugcilazeka lokuyana. So igcilaza makuphela man, makuphele kube nokulapheka, sizokwazi ukuthi abantu bapholisa abantu bangalaphi out of anger and frustration and proving a point to their Gobelas ukuthi I can do it better than you, I can have more tosses than you, let me go get that brewing shigubu in my ndumba. No man, idlozi lethela abantu, and abantu mabangekho, what I said in the last episode, that people are fine.
Would you expose him to protect amanye amathwasana that could possibly end up?
No, he's not worth my platforms.
Okay.
Yeah. I spoke about this so many times that he's not worth my platforms. I don't want to give him so much shine, because even when, usathola amathwasa, because, hey, mina, so I feel like he hasn't learned his lesson. So while people are still going there, there's nothing. And also while still Impande is still continuing with people within Impande still protecting that, there's nothing I can do. I can only say my part, and I don't want to live in the past. I've moved from that stage. And if anything, I want to always come back and watch this episode and feel content and not cringe about it, because I don't want to give somebody that attention. He's not worth that anymore. He's a part of my story, yes, but not a part of my journey.
Thank you, Gogo.
Thokoza is danko, is thank you, is see you next week, same time, same place, in the undercover. Yeah, it's a lot. Thank you so much. Thank you. I'll see you next time.